As you know, we are going to cover 3 topics today. And the following topics are how to install external components using NPM, and then how to handle multiple pages using the React router DOM, that is an external component. And finally, in the last hour, we're gonna check how to use the use effect hook. If for some reason we run out of time, we can move this one from today to tomorrow without any issues. Because although this lecture here that you need to do today is a little bit hard, in practice it's short. So once you see the live lecture, this is quite easy to do. But the explanation process, because we have to manage multiple files at the same time, is what makes the article complex. But once you start to code, this one is quite fast. And this part to complete the YouTube video is a little bit longer. So probably this topic will go to here. But remember, tomorrow is a normal day. We have the full 3 hours of lectures instead of just having 1 hour and then the quizzes. There is no quiz tomorrow. And most importantly, after the holidays, and we're not talking about Friday because Friday is holiday, Monday is also a holiday. On Tuesday, we do the quiz that is usually reserved for a Friday, and that will be the deadline for the project that we're gonna release today. So I just warning that this topic is gonna be moved to here. Now, I mentioned yesterday about the projects that they failed, that they can be resubmitted at the end of the module. That means also on Tuesday. But I spoke with Sisi, or actually Sisi spoke with me. Yep. We're gonna allow the people that didn't submit the projects on time before the deadline to submit them again. She told me that please do grade them again, give them opportunity. I will do it. But I will be upfront. I will give a C or C plus as the best grade, due to respect to the people that actually took the time to finish the projects on time. So it will be a lack of respect to your fellow classmates that finish on Friday. That a project that has more than 1 week to be completed get an A. So those projects that were delivered were not delivered by Friday can get delivered by Tuesday and be reviewed without any issues. Now, I also told that everybody can resubmit the project based on their feedback. And if you got a C or a D and you make an amazing progress, yes, you can get a B or maybe an A. And if you were getting a B, your feedback is not that hard to implement, and yes, you will be able to submit again. And if everything is perfect, there is no single mistake, then you can get even an A as well. So yeah.
Eduardo,
Uh-huh.
you're talking about the cupcake, right?
Yes, we're talking about the cupcake because the React
Just
project is gonna be unlocked today. So actually, for the people that finish the cupcake on time and actually finish and pass it, you have less work to do during the holidays because you just need to focus on one project. It's for the people that actually either fail and wants to improve their grade, or the people that didn't deliver the project at all that will have the second chance. But that means that they need to do 2 projects at the same time, and you will not be able to complain about that in the Tuesday review because literally it's your own fault. So with that out of the way, let's get started. And if you have any questions, we can do it at the end after I release the second project. So yeah, more work. In any case, we're gonna do this, and I don't need to read the articles because you probably read it yesterday, and I really hope that you read it yesterday. So a small change from yesterday. The original JSON file was pointing to videos hosted in a Firebase project, but it was not the current Firebase project that we are using for the SDA. I was looking for the credentials, and to be honest, I didn't find it. So to make the thing faster and actually connect this particular project with the lectures that with the articles that are in the Dev2 webpage, I decided to use the same approach that we have in the Dev2 article. So we are going to use the video IDs, and we're going to install a plugin called YouTube Video Player to work with this. So let's do that. In the add page, for now, before we do the multi-page navigation, we are gonna comment out the home page, and we're gonna load directly the video page. So as soon as we open the project, we're gonna try to load the very first video of the entire JSON array. And then we're gonna connect both the home page and the video site to navigate between them. And then the second page, that is the video page, will load a different video based on the whatever link you click on the home page. So let's try that. To do it, let's create a new page called video. And remember that we said what we said yesterday. Pages are just React components, normal components. The reason that we put it in a different folder is because we use it as literally as a simulation of an entire web page. It has a different context for us. So that's something important. So let's do the export default. By the way, I think one of the students, one of the others, actually gave a nice plugin. I haven't tried it, but sounds quite promising. So I will recommend that invest time in that one, because it's supposed to be a shortcut for just creating this export default function, and then we say video. So check it out. I think it's in the tips section. In any case, we're gonna do the video page. We're gonna say return. We're gonna create a div to wrap it up everything and represent our page. We're gonna put the ID video, because we want to remember that I told you about IDs in CSS are for unique elements, and literally the page is something unique. So I know that we are not gonna use the word ID video in another place. So perfect. So far, so good. We also need to import the header. So let's copy the header. Because we're importing the header, we need to import our project files. And this is something important. Look at the comments that we are using in the project files. At the end of this lecture, I will release a template that you can use to stylize your projects, especially for the project that you need to do on your own. Basically, this thing tells you how to organize your React component, because as you probably see, we have a lot of topics to cover. Yesterday, we see about the local state, the normal state. So right now, this local state, for your knowledge, right now, this is called the state. But tomorrow, we're going to expand into the global state, and then we need to differentiate the one we learned yesterday, and we're going to say global and local state. You will learn what is global state today when you read the articles. Don't worry about that. And then the rest of the properties will be considered in constants. So I will explain this in greater detail when we reach the end of the lecture. But this will be like a nice template how to organize your components. This will be especially useful by the time you reach the group project, because I remember seeing in the previous iterations some people creating monolithic components that has more than 300 lines of code. Like they're basically a web page, a traditional web page with a couple of variables in React, and there you go. Instead of actually optimizing the stuff and putting components to break it down the page into more manageable sections. So I hope that this guide will help you organize your project and actually have some rules that how many stuff you can put in a component before you say, you know what, this component is too big, I need to refactor it. But we're going to see it in detail, and you, of course, will get the PDF version of this file at the end of the lecture. So let's continue.
Eduardo, just on the picture, I think the brackets on the return need to be at the end, just on your last one.
Yeah,
that one bracket.
Yeah. Both this one and this one should be here. I just did it for a stylistic choice, just to avoid having the hyper nesting. But yes, you're right. This one should be here and this one should be here. But yeah, I decided, and I even in fact, yeah, you can see that there is this version, and it looks ugly. So
okay, no problem.
No worries. But yeah, but nice catch. Don't worry. I appreciate that. But the reason that I did it is just to make it look pretty. This is not, yeah. But yeah, don't worry. I take it in consideration. Being there, done that, got a t-shirt. Yeah, always thinking about all the details. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means that you're paying attention, and that's super important. So in any case, we import the header, And then let's start copying the the tags. We know that it's not HTML tags; they are JSX tags, but they look so similar that it's normal that you get them confused. In any case, we have the header, we have the video player. The video player. We're going to replace this one. This one is using native HTML elements. We're going to replace it with a React external library. So we can add comments to our content to know what we are planning to do. Remember, command / to comment or uncomment. And this is the description. This can be refactored into a component. I say here, perfect. And this is the button to go back. Right now, I converted as a normal A because we haven't installed React Rotterdam. You read about React Rotterdam yesterday. We're gonna go into detail, but for now, we're gonna convert it back to a normal link. Perfect. And of course, the project will crash because we are passing a couple of information, but we don't know where this information is coming from. So we're gonna say, we're gonna pass the entire information here, information. We're gonna pass the entire JSON element. And based on that, we're gonna search the correct video. And we're gonna say that, for example, const video equals information. For now, we're gonna say the first elements of the array. If you're paying attention, you may ask, hey, Eduardo, why we need to pass the entire, let me put this one on the right, just move this window. If you're paying attention, you're probably gonna ask, hey, Eduardo, this sounds similar to the car. Why it's like passing the entire JSON array to the car component and then just picking the particular item in the array to showcase the car. Why we are passing the entire JSON element from here, like literally, we are doing video, and we're saying information equal information.json, or importing the information from here. Yeah, we're going to import the information from here. But in any case, the question is why we are passing the entire JSON array when we can just pass the particular element from here. And the answer is, remember that we are going to, based on whatever element that the user clicks on the YouTube video in the homepage, or by manipulating the URL, we'll be able to. Let me open YouTube to explain this one better. You might say, why this particular page? Let me just mute this one. Yeah, sorry for the noise. You may say, why I need to pass the entire JSON array to this particular page when we just passes as a prop from here? And the answer is, you don't know if the user is clicking from the home. Maybe he just received a link from somebody else, close the window, and open from here. So you never went from the home to the video page. When you open the browser, you go directly to the video page. So the video page needs to have the entire JSON information just in case, because you cannot guarantee that the user is opening your web page from the home and then navigating to the video page. Users can share links between themselves and just literally send you to the video page. So the video page needs to be prepared and have the information in this particular scenario. But in any case, I will import the information just like I did it in the home page. Let me open the home page. I will copy this one and put it information here as well. So we know that video is information 0. We are not going to pass it as a prop based on the explanation. We are going to import it from here. And let's test it out. We know that in app, homepage is commented. You can see that it's grayed out. And we're going to import video just to test it out if it's loading the page. So pages / video. Perfect. And we're going to run the project to see if it works. I'm going to read the chat while the page is loading. Just give me 1 second. Where is the toolbar? Toolbar is here. For the deadline for both projects is on Tuesday. Yes, if you need, if you got a red a red screenshot with the feedback of your project, it means that it fails, and then yes, both projects will be for Tuesday. If you just want to improve your grade, that means if you got a review with a white background, is optional. You pass, so you don't need to do it, but you can do it in case that you want to improve your grade. So okay, it says thumbnail is not defined. Okay, let's refactor this, shall we? I will close this one. We know that the page is loading, and now we say that thumbnail is undefined. Let me see. It says in line 3120 in video GSX, thumbnail is not defined. So I will copy the word thumbnail and open the search bar and say that, yep, indeed the thumbnail doesn't exist because we need to get the thumbnail. And remember that the trick is based on an image. So we say constant thumbnail object. No, we're gonna, yeah, thumbnail object equals, it will be video dot thumbnail. No, sorry, it was require. We need to get the pass the route, and the route is we're gonna use a string literals backticks. Remember, it's not these ticks; it's the ones that are inclined in diagonal. So dot slash assets slash images slash this one is from the video, so the videos are in the root folder, by the way. Remember, these are the videos that we're looking, and this is the channel icon. So just to differentiate, this is the video thumbnail, and this is the channel thumbnail. There's a difference between them. So in any case, let's continue. Require images. We know that they are in the root folder, images, and then we need to pass the variable, and the variable is video dot video 0. No, video, because sorry, video already is the first index of the first item in the information array. So we just go directly to video dot thumbnail. There you go. And then we need the const thumbnail URL equals thumbnail object dot default. Because unfortunately, the new version of require wraps around my element into an object. And I think that probably you can do the structuring to actually get it in one go. But to be honest, I will not try to experiment on the fly in the classroom. But if I find a better version way to actually do it in one line, I will share the information. So this one is working, and it's probably gonna crash with the channel because it's the same thing. Cannot find module undefined default thumbnail object. Okay, let me just do a console log. Console.log for thumbnail object in case that inspect element. Let me see my console. So blah, 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 blah. No, it says I cannot find module undefined. I think it's this one. Require assets, image, video thumbnail, and video thumbnail. Let me open the JSON. Video thumbnail. Ah, it's because it's thumb. Okay, it's thumb, not thumbnail. So I think it's this one. Yep, it's working. And I will take the time to actually do the same refactor. And I don't want to use the word thumbnail because it's too long. So I will just go to thumb, and I will do the same thing here. I will say just thumb. There you go. I know that this is working. So perfect. We get the element. Perfect. So far, so good. But we don't see the video. Remember, we're gonna use the video. We're gonna check the video as a. We're gonna check the video as the YouTube plugin. But I just want to fix a small detail. Here is video channel name. Video details is thumb URL. This one is loading. Actually, as you can see, this is the video, not the channel. So there is a small mistake here, and we're gonna fix it. So this one will be channel thumb. Channel thumb object, and this will be channel thumb, and this one will be channel thumb URL. Remember that or JSON, and that's why that's what is so important to create your a spreadsheet table. This particular JSON has 2 images per item, one for the channel. Remember, the channel is the one that I will refactor this in a second. This JSON has 1 image for this image and 1 for this one. So you need to be careful that which one you are importing in this particular exercise. So let's change this one to channel URL, and it's channel thumb. Just open the JSON and just channel thumb. And this one is probably here in channel because it's image channels. There you go. And now you can the correct picture. So, and now it's rounded. So everything is working perfectly. We got the information, but we cannot see the video. Okay. But before we see the video, this is something important. And this is something super important that I wanted to start to implement right away before even we learn a new concept. Based on this these guidelines, you will see that I'm trying to be super strict. This is not, by the way, this is not something that I want to check and fail you if you do this in your React project. This one says that your GSX should be around 10 lines of code. It doesn't mean that if you actually deliver a project and one component has 11 lines, you will fail. No, that will not be taken into consideration. But this is a guideline to make your projects easier to handle. If you compare right now video versus homepage, look, homepage is super short and sweet. It's super nice to handle. And we know that the cards, instead of making this one like a lot of cards, we have a single array of cards making the function using the function map. So you can see that the homepage is super short. Even if it has a lot of logic, it's actually quite short. Video page, on the other hand, doesn't fit on the screen, and we haven't added all the properties that we need to use here, properties or constants, and we need to add more lines, more variables here. So this page is a mess. So we're gonna refactor it, and we are gonna move everything from here. We're gonna move these elements to a component, just so the page can fit in a single page, as you can see here. And you probably can start refactor this as well. But for now, we're gonna refactor this. And how do we do it? We're gonna create a new component called video description GSX. And we're gonna say export default function video description. And we're gonna return this div called metadata. Perfect. And this one will receive we'll get the information. Let me, because it's similar to the card, we're gonna use the name information here. It will be information channel name, information subscribers, information video description. Perfect. And here in the video, we can replace this one for the component that we just created. It's called video description, and we're gonna pass as a prop. We're gonna pass this particular video. Perfect. And because the channel URL is not here, you can see that this is gray out. We can start refactoring, and we can remove some variables from here and paste it here in the video description, because this is where it's needed.
Eduardo?
Yeah.
The file name created as a VIDE description. We have called it with the VIDEO description. The file name.
Which one? This line?
Yeah, the file name is like VIDE description.jsx.
JSX. Oh, okay. As a typo in the sidebar. Thank you. Thank you so much. Video description. Yeah. And I will copy this one, description, video description. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Otherwise, it will have crashed. And this one is video description, and this is video description. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, so much. I appreciate this. And we can say that this is the metadata, data for this the description of the video description of the video. Oh, yeah, there you go. So now my video page fits in a single page. So this is amazing. Perfect. Let's test it out. It says video is not defined. Let me see where one video escaped me. Where it says video here, video, and sorry, video description, video thumb. Oh, okay. Now what will be information channel thumb? There you go. It's the same component, but as you can see, we can move some element that we don't need in the video page itself and refactor it. With more time, you probably will be able to just literally move everything from here, and so maybe this one. But for now, this refactoring was okay. Maybe we can improve it. With more time, we can read the code or create another component for this one or move everything to another page. But well, it will be up to you to think about that. With that out of the way, let me create the Git repository. Let me say create video page, and refactor it to avoid having a monolithic. I think I made a typo, but I don't care. A monolithic page. I really hope that you understand that the reason that we did it is not because the page was not working. It's just because it was disorganized. It was hard to read. You needed to scroll. Each time that you need to scroll, you lose the whole picture because you cannot see everything fitting on the screen. You don't know where this variable is going to be used or here down the bottom or not. Trying to having everything fit in a single page is a nice goal and actually pays off. It's easier to debug in this way. In any case, let's continue and add the video container. So let's go to this one. We need to install to run this video to YouTube's video. We need to install a plugin that allows me to pass the video thumbnail and create a video player for us. So let's research that. And this is the benefits of using React. If you just say literally React YouTube player, first results. So you want to look for something, React forms. Forms. You have this one, React Hub Forms. There's another called Formic. So basically, you need a plugin for something in React. Just write React and the thing that you need. So probably anything that you need is already invented for React. So this is the advantage of using React. Regardless if I prefer Vue or some other framework, this is where learning React or other frameworks pays off. There is everything for React already invented. So in this case, we want React YouTube player. And we're gonna use this one. How do I install a React external component? Quite simple, just like it says here. I go to terminal, I open a new page in my terminal, and I just do this. npm install React YouTube. And I want to showcase something that related to the Git as soon as this is installed. I will check the chat meanwhile. Oh, nice. Yeah, it was nice. I hope that everybody's making the exercises that we said yesterday. Yesterday we did a small exercise, and now this is the bigger version. Okay, now as you can see, package.json becomes yellow. Somebody was asking the other day that why sometimes your sidebar becomes green or red or yellow. It's because each time that you add a new file, for example, if I add a new file to the repository, new file, GSX, this one will become, you can see it becomes green because this is a visual cue to tell you, hey, you added a new file to the Git repository. Remember that David told you how to do git add either point or asterisk or the name of the file, new file.json, GSX. Well, we don't memorize commands on the terminal because we have a graphical user interface. So we can use Git like a normal person instead of a computer scientist that that tries to memorize a lot of complicated commands. We just use the graphical user interface, and we can see that this is a new file, and we can see that this file has changed, package.json, and package.json changed because we added a new file that is the plugin React YouTube. That means that if you clone this project and you want to start from the beginning, you need to install the libraries. And how do we do the libraries? Just right click here and send run install, and it will reinstall this node module in case that doesn't exist. So there you go. This is why this file becomes yellow, and this one become sorry, that was green, and this is why this becomes yellow, because yellow means that it modified. And because it was modified, we have a good habit of always writing our Git commits. We say install it, the YouTube React library. There you go. Oh no, sorry, let's use the correct term. External component. There you go. And we can do a push. Click here, push. So if you do a pull, you will see the new changes that we're making today in this project, because remember, the project has changed a little bit since yesterday. I actually cleaned it up a little bit, the CSS, because it was a real mess. And the reason that it was a real mess is because, believe it or not, in the 7th iteration, front-end development was just 1 week for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. So don't complain about that you don't have enough time to HTML. The 7th iteration had it worse, way worse. So no, definitely that's not a consolation, but it is what it is. Let's continue. Okay, I installed the library, but how do we use it? I honestly don't know. So simple, read the documentation. It says that we need to use a component, uppercase, like this. Okay, I will do the YouTube, perfect. And you can see that the autocomplete is working. It says that it's gonna import it from another module, React YouTube index. Perfect, I press enter, close the parentheses, and it put it here, import React YouTube. But because we want to be organized, we want to, or imports, we want to separate it by using comments. And we want to separate which ones are for my project file. My project file, I mean this source folder. So if it's inside this source folder, I want that to be here. But if it's outside the source folder and it's in the node modules folder, I want to put this one outside. By the way, I can move the lines by pressing Option and up or down in the keyboard. Remember, Option and up and down. That's how I move my lines of code. So I will put another comment. I will say npm package, because this was installed externally. It will not fail your project. It's just something that's to be organized. Please be organized. That separates the rookies from the pros. Trust me, solving high complex exercises like this one, like for example, programming in depth, preview, extra labs, these ones. Let me tell you something. This is super overrated. Trust me. If you do these basics well done, but not well, perfectly well done, then you don't need to worry about this. This is only for people that actually will go work in either NASA, Facebook, or Google. So this is highly, highly overrated. I can tell you because here in Sweden, I already got 3 job offers. I got hired in a game company in Malmo, and then I quit to get back to KTH. So trust me, it's overrated. Super mega hyper overrated. Being organized is more important for a company. In any case, let's continue. We have the YouTube player. We can see that something appeared. An error. You probably guess it's because definitely we haven't passed any information. The machine doesn't do whatever I wanted them to do. It doesn't do whatever I tell them to do. And right now I haven't told it anything. So he doesn't know what to load. So let's go back to the library. I'm sorry. I think I have the link here. Yeah, options available. There you go. Okay, the options are, first of all, I need to pass the video ID. So let's go to the video ID. And the video ID is quite simple. You can pass a string, but we want to pass the variable that is in video.video ID. Remember, video is our first JSON element. So we pass the first information. Perfect. And now it's working. Let's press play. I will mute it. Yeah, it's working. Perfect. And you can check, by the way, let me just go here. You can see on play is a function. You can pass a function in case that you want to do something when the user press the play button. You can do a function when it pauses, on ends, and so on and so forth. So you can play around and make a super powerful video player with the playlist and everything here. And remember, if you need to pass arguments, just pass an arrow function and do the arguments. But I will not explain how to do that because you already know at this stage. But okay, so far so good. We need to align the contents, definitely. But for this demo, I'm satisfied for this. I want to move to the next topic, is to how to connect. Remember, I told you yesterday, and I told you from the beginning of the module that in this week, I will not care about CSS. You will need to fix it. I will leave as a homework how to center the content. But for me, it was a video ID. I think this is called container. If I wrap it up everything in a container, I will fix it. But I will do it later and pass you the update. We want to focus on the video itself. So how do we connect this page to the home screen? Because right now, if I try to do this disaster, you have the home page, but oh, the next page load here. And we don't want that. We want to switch between each one. And depending if I click here, I want to change the video here. And to test it out that this one is loading correctly, we can go to the video one last time and change from 0 to, for example, number 5. And it updates. Perfect. Both the video and the thumbnail or the description and so on and so forth. So we know that this is working perfectly. We just need to change this number, to some kind of variable. So each time that you enter the video page, it will load the correct variable. So let's do that. To do this, let me delete this one. We know that it's working, so that's why I can safely delete it. And we just say correct install it. The YouTube component is working. So that was my last change. Okay. How do we connect this? We're going to move to the next topic. That is, I can click from the last line, the last link. I remember. There you go. This one. So for this one, we need, and I really hope that you read this one because this one is complex. For this one, we need a special component, external component called React Router DOM. React Router DOM wraps around our web page or components and allow us to switch between these pages. Remember that the visual defect that we have here, that the one page was on top of another. Instead of that, imagine that you have an if statement that says, if the URL is this, then show this page. Else if the URL is this, blah, blah, blah. And because you know that you don't want to do a if, else if, else if, else if, else if, you know there is a special element called the switch statement, and you know that the switch statement is switch. Case 1 will be the certain the URL will showcase some result. Otherwise, case 2, case 3, case 4, 5, blah 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 blah, and at the end you have a default case, something like that. So we're gonna do a React Router DOM is a glorified switch statement that connects with the URL, and based on the URL, we're gonna load a different page. So let's install that one. And how do we do it? Quite simple. We need to install this component. So let's install it right away. By the way, if you see the icon of Visual Studio Code looking different, it's not that you're in a different version or you are using a different program. It's just yesterday I changed the icon manually because I was bored. So don't worry about the icon. Meanwhile, I will check the chat while the component is installed, and says to so silly React Router and this stage. Yes. something that I love about Vue is that it comes prepackaged with the stuff that they know that they need. I understand the passion for performance that the React developers has. And for example, the reason that they have breaking down React, something important. Okay, thank you, Nicolas. This is an important question because you can get this question in a job interview. So please listen up. This question pops in job interviews. Why React is considered a library and not a framework? What is the difference? Well, the difference, you can need research a little bit more technically, but a framework contains all the tools that you need to do a particular project. A library is just a specific pieces of code to accomplish a particular goal. React doesn't include the React router DOM because they only focus on the performance, the modularity, and the state management, period. And in fact, you know that each time that you want to use a React hook, let's say, let me create a hook here, const my hook, set my hook, equal use state. You see that it creates an import from React. So React, the creators of the React library, they want everything super compact, modular, small as possible. And there is a benefit of that. Even if I have React, there is a benefit. If they put the React router DOM inside React, we're gonna have a lot of code that is useless if you do this, React native. If we are making native web desktop application, mobile applications, you're using an app, and an app in full screen is not a web browser. So the code for the React router DOM will be useless, and each time that you make an app using React Native, it will be megabytes of information that is not needed. So it will make your app more heavy and for something that you don't need at all. So that's why React, even if I bitch about React all the time, I give credit where credit is due. This makes important to make the library super small. And the difference between a library is focused on one task. A framework is like basically, okay, let me tell. I love to use analogies. Screwdriver. React is a screwdriver. Maybe it's the fastest screwdriver in the planet. And a framework like Vue is a toolbox. Contains multiple tools like the state, the navigation, the router, blah 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 blah. So it's but that makes Vue more heavyweight. React is lightweight because of this, because it's just one single thing, and you need to put plugins on top of that to complement the functionality that you need. But okay. Now, with that out of the way, we install the library. We know that the package JSON has modified. We can see that we added a React router DOM. And this is important. And I added the comments in the article yesterday. There is a difference between React DOM and React router DOM, and you need to import the correct elements when you're working in React, otherwise you will get weird bugs. React DOM is the thing that allows you to have the nice performance with the virtual DOM. The one that I told you, instead of navigating the tree, we actually just cut and paste and destroy and everything is done thanks to this one. This one is the one for navigating to multiple pages. They are super similar. Don't confuse them. So let's import it, shall we? We need 3 elements, just as the article mentioned. The first one is the browser router that wraps it up everything. Then we need something called the switch. And the switch is basically like a window. Everything inside the switch will be changed based on the URL. So basically, it's like telling the display the changes in this particular area. And then the route itself are the pages that we're gonna use. So let's do this approach. Let's delete the home page for 1 second. It becomes gray out. And we're gonna say here, browser router, and it says on to import from React router DOM. Okay, perfect. We know that this one wraps up everything, so we can have access to the URL state hook. So Next, we need to say the window. Where do we gonna put these web pages? We're gonna put it inside the switch component. Switch, auto import from React router DOM. Perfect. Perfect. There you go. And then we need the routes. The routes are basically the pages itself. So route, perfect. And this is a self-closing component. Perfect. So this is our structure. 1, 2, 3. And we want to create one route for each page that we have. So we're going to create one route for the home page and one for the video page. So let's do it. This one, we're going to say that the component is, just let me open it because I don't remember. Is here. Perfect. Yeah, it's quite easy. Component tells me, okay, which component you want to showcase when the URL is different. In this case, I want to showcase the home, and in this one, I want to showcase component the video. Perfect. And then we need to tell, okay, but based on which URL or links on the web page. So we say path. So we use the property called path. And in path, I want to say, sorry, I can say I want to pass a string. And then my homepage is like the index. So I just don't need to say index. I just put like a slash and the machine will understand. And for this one, I will say path/video. But this is important. If you have worked with regex, let me just open regex 1 second. Regex. And I will write 2 examples. Slash. This the parentheses will be my comments. So index HTML, and this one will be video /video HTML. And my regex expression will be, for example, slash. You see a problem. If I put the address slash, both addresses are find a match. Sorry. Oh, I think that somebody needs to be mute. Okay. In any case, if I just put in a slash, if I put in a slash, both paths are found, and that makes a mistake. If I put video, it's only this one. But when we just type slash, both are found. So we need to tell the machine that when we refer to this one, it's literally just a slash, not a slash something else. How do we fix this small mistake? Simple. We just write the word exact. Fix it. So let's test it out, shall we? We go to our project, localhost. This is working. The other page doesn't appear. And if I go to /video, it works with Alicia keys. Perfect. Remember, I don't care about the alignment. You need to do that on your own. So this is working, but we need to go one step further. We can go one step further, and we will go one step further. The next step is to, how do we pass a variable? How do we tell, let me go back. How do I tell that if I click here, this is video number 2. If I click here, this is video number 3 or 4, whatever in the index, and this is the last video of the array. How do we pass this variable? This is where the advanced topic, and I really hope that you take the time to read. There was an additional reading here about the React router, and this is about the. Let me close the Slack. Sorry, I will not read the Slack channel right now. And this is where the parents variable works. So how do we do that? Let's go back to our project. Any question before this part? Just for the router, before we move on to something that was not in the article, but it was on the extra video. This one is install the router run. Install it, the router done. There you go. I will check the chat just real quickly. And exact, yeah, I mentioned this one. Yeah, okay. Sorry, what was the confusing part? Sorry, Diana. Go ahead. No? The difference between a framework and a library. Yeah, I think that I hope that the screwdriver versus the toolbox actually explained it better. But in any case, I can explain that at the end of the lecture. Don't worry. That was super off topic, but it can pop up in a job interview. In any case, let's continue. How do we pass a variable? This is not a correct syntax, by the way. We do the string literals. And how do we pass a variable, something like this? It doesn't work. You can see that it becomes red. But this is basically the thing that we want to do. We want to pass a variable here. How do we do that? Well, it's not that hard. We just do a slash. And we say something important. We say a double colon to signify that we're going to pass a variable to the React router DOM. And then we say the name of the variable. In this case will be, for example, we can say the ID. We're going to pass the video ID. Perfect. So how do we retrieve this variable from here, from the video page? So let's do that. We have something in the NPA package. I think it's called params. Let me open the documentation. React router DOM match params. Router params, React router. I think it's this one. There you go. Is the params is match URL. Is match router match. Just give me 1 second. So this is the variable, but I just want to see how to get the params. In any case, I can open the solution from the exercise that I have here. So just give me 1 second. I will check from here. Video. So okay, we have a prop. Okay, we have a prop called match that is for the params. This is basically the video ID that we're getting passed, and we're gonna create a constant called const ID or video. Yeah, says ID equals match dot params dot ID, because this prop is the let's do a console log. Console log. My React router DOM URL variable equals match. So let's do the console log just to check it out. I will delete this one. I will open the console. Perfect. Let me go to the video page, of course. /video. And we're gonna say, for example, ID GGG, for example. We open the page. I have so many windows, I cannot see anything. Let me clear the filters. We get something. So let's check it out. And you can see that. Let me put this one side by side, and let me put the console on the bottom. Perfect. So you can see it. And let me put this one here. Now you can see it. So you can see that this console log, this match argument, remember, this is the one that is being extracted from here. I don't say prop match equal something. No. It's this ID that is getting passed here. And this is the match param. And we can see that the match param is an object. And this object is exact. If we came from a match from the slash video, and we can see that the path is video ID. Remember, this is the path. So you can see information from the information. You can see the whole URL video /gg blah 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 blah, and then you can see the params is an object inside an object, and inside this object we have the key ID, and this is the thing that we want. So that's why we say. Another console log. My ID from URL is comma match dot. Remember, it's an object. Params, and params is not enough. We need to say parent dot ID. So it's 3 levels deep. I reload the page, and now my ID is GDDDDDDDD. Perfect. So that means that I can start passing the the ID of the element. That is wonderful. So let's do that, shall we? Let's do that. Here I will open the JSON. Just 1 second. I will make this one smaller. I will pass the JSON, data information.json, and this is the big ID that we're gonna pass. So we're gonna, for example, here, we're gonna say video. Let me clean my console. Perfect, and this will be the ID. Now we just need to tell the machine, and this is the last thing that we're gonna do before the break. We can delete these console logs because we know that they're working. Instead of having the first element of the array, the second element of the array, or the third element of the array, we are gonna find which element of this array contains this ID. So we're gonna literally tell the machine, hey, we have this array. Look inside each of these elements and tell me which is the first one that has a video ID. And this is why it's so important to have a unique IDs, because we need to be sure that the project doesn't crash. We need to verify that our IDs are always unique. So we're gonna use this one to navigate. And because this ID is unique, we probably can skip this one and use this video ID each time that we want to create a key for the card array, but that will be a refactoring for another year. In any case, we're gonna tell the machine that before the break. So we're gonna say, instead of saying information 0, we're gonna say, hey, find inside the JSON, the object that has the key video ID that matches the const ID. And you know that the const ID is match parents ID, so you can say that match parents ID. So we're gonna do that in code. So let me cut this one because this is a comment. I'm gonna put it here. So we want this. How do we do it? Not that hard. Information, and we have a new property for finding arrays. Information.find, and this is another arrow function. Another arrow function, and inside the find, we're gonna check for each item. Arrow function, remember, let's do the space, arrow function. We're gonna say item, so inside each item, remember, we're gonna loop each item in the JSON array, and we're gonna say that this item dot video ID matches triple equal the match parents ID. I can do the match parent ID, but because we are not disorganized, we prefer to say, we can say, by the way, we can say browser your variable or something like that, but let's call it ID for now. Or we can say route ID. Yeah, let's rename this one, and let's say this one is router ID. So we know that this one is the come from the URL. So this is better. Perfect. Cross fingers, because this can fail. Cross fingers. If I put this one, los Alicia keys, okay, let's open the information.json and open, for example, this one, something about the supersonic flight, blah, blah, blah. If I change the URL and press enter and cross my fingers, I really don't know if it's gonna work or not. Yeah, it works. So there you go. We're gonna go to the break. After the break, we're gonna go back, check how to make this one go to the homepage. And make that each time that I click on this one, I will pass the ID to the URL. And because we pass the ID to the URL, the video page will receive it and change the content. So yeah, we are halfway done. So questions before that? Okay, yeah, and I will explain that maybe later, don't worry, about the framework and library. So okay, any questions? Otherwise, we'll go to the break, 15 minutes, is that okay? Okay, perfect.
So we're back. Let's continue with the project, shall we? Let me share the screen. We left at this particular point, and we know that if we pass the video slash and a particular ID, it will load the content. The next step will be to actually click on these links and make them work. So let's do that right away. I will open the card component because that's the one that we need to modify. So I can close all the pages. We go to the card, and we know that the card is wrapping up the image inside the is wrapping up with an A tag. This is important. We can make it work with the A tag, but I want to be a little bit more organized and use the correct link tag. So just to showcase that it works with the link with the A tag, I will just literally go with, for example, video slash, and I will say the variable that the variable is called information dot video ID. But this and if I reload the page, this works perfect. And if I go back, this works as well. But I want to use I want to be a little bit more organized, and I want to use the correct tag. And the correct tag is the npm package, called link. So let's do a link from React router. Remember, not React DOM, not this one, React router DOM. There you go. And I think I need to wrap it up these ones because this is not a default. That's why I need to put it the curly braces. And I use this one instead. Link. And this one, instead of using href, is 2. Perfect. Let's reload the page and let's see if it's working with the same one for Casino Royale. It's working. Perfect. So it works. The first question that you will probably get is why I'm going to use the link if I can just use the A tag. I just literally showcase that both work exactly the same. Well, if you get used to use the correct tag, it has a couple of advantages. You can start do more complex search functions. You can pass the variables more easily and so on and so forth. But in addition, there is another second component, and I will leave this one as a homework in the article here, in the article that we're working here. As you see, normally that in this kind of navigation pattern, when you are in the active page, for example, page A, or in this one, the URL, the active one is page V. You can see page V. You usually see that this one is with a different color. Usually is a underscore or something to highlight that we're on page B by making this link look different. We can do that with the nav link. That is an enhanced version of the link. And you can say that if the link is active, you can pass a CSS class. I will leave this as a homework so you can research about this. But that's why I like to use my link tag. Another advantage of using the link tag is that it has direct access to the state variable of the React router DOM. What I mean by that, I mean that when you use the link tag, you're calling the variable from here. If you use the A tag instead, let me just copy this one. If you do the A tag href and you call this one, you need to open the web page. Will open the URL. Based on the URL, will change the page, parse information, and then showcase the correct page. But if you use the link doesn't need to wait to change the page. It can just literally ask the parent before we do the switch. Ask the parent, hey, what is the new URL? And it's a small change, but makes the page load a little bit faster, but just a tiny bit. So there is a small advantage of using the link. But the most important part is the second one, the nav link. When you use the nav, if you get used to use the link, then learning how to use the nav link will become easier. So that's why I will encourage you to use the correct one that is link. Let me just put my headphones because the drilling is on.
Give me 1 second. Next. Let me see if the audio is the correct one. Can you hear me now? Because I'm with the AirPods. Say yes out loud.
Yeah,
Yes.
we hear you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's because of the drilling. Sorry for that one. Okay. Oh, they are really good. Perfect. In any case, please try to use the link tag instead of the egg tag, because I told you you will read more. You can read more in the documentation about React Rotterdam, but it will be easy to get used to for the not link when you want to do this these tricks of the having the search bar, the navigation bar highlighted. So it will make easier your transition to the not link if you get used from the beginning to use the correct link tag. That is the correct way to link. That is the link tag. So let's go back. And also, something important, with a quick glance, I know that this link tag is navigating inside my component instead of to an external page. So that's another visual clue for your teammates. If your teammates see something like this, ahref, they don't need to read the link. If we decide as a team to use a convention, hey, each time that we're navigating inside our project, we're going to use the link tag, and each time that we make an external link, we're going to use the A tag. So as soon as I see a link, oh, I know that we're navigating inside our project. So that's another super mega hyper advantage to communicate to your teammates with a quick glance which ones are internal pages and which ones are external pages. So another advantage of using the link tag. So in any case, let's fix the header. And in the header, we want also to wrap it up the link tag, the image with the link tag. So let's create the link. And it says auto import for React Rotterdam. Perfect. And here I will say to, remember, the home is just a slash. I don't need to say exact because that's not the problem in the link. The link just send it to the slash. And then in the app, the exact takes care of not choosing this one, but choosing this one. So you only need to say to slash, and there you go. So if I am in the video, for example, if I click here, I go back to this video, it works. And if I go back, perfect. And I can do the same here. I need to do the same thing. So I will go to my video page. And in my video page, I will change this one to the link tag as well. Auto import. Sorry, link tag. And then I will change the href to slash. Oh, sorry, not auto closing. There you go. And everything is imported. The npm package on the top, the project files in the middle, and then this comment I will put it here on the right. So there you go. Much better. So what else? We're missing? So far, so good. We know that this is working. Perfect. The next and final step will be to use the search bar to search the components. I will create a third page called search results. Search results.gsx. I will do the export default function search results. There you go. Perfect. And this will return. Let me see my page module in the templates results page. No, this is CSS. Done. Let's give 1 second. Pages results. Perfect. So I will copy this one. This will be a return div, and the ID will be results. Perfect. Inside my div, I will copy everything. That is basically remember my header and so on and so forth. Let me just delete this variable. This one do out of time. I probably will not be able to do it, or maybe I do it tomorrow if I have time to just. This is polishing, so it's not important. Oh my God, we really teach badly in the SDA 7. There you go, H2. We can say a horizontal rule, so we can just see the. No, I know what we're using a span here. It's not a title. We want this to be in the same line, so it's actually okay. This is actually okay. We can just literally remove the span tag. I just can go directly here. This is valid HTML, by the way. So okay, we have the header, That means that we need to import the header as well. I will import it for here, header, there you go. Header, perfect. And we can see cars here. Where are they? You can see cars here. So this means that we are gonna use the cars component here as well. So let me import the cars. By the way, let me show you the page that I'm implying that we're gonna build. It's not gonna be as advanced than the one from YouTube, but for example, if I put Billie Eilish, you go to a page with the search results. So we're gonna simulate something similar to that. And this is the one. Basically, this one only has buttons for sort by name or by channel. So that's the way that we're gonna sort information. And this is the content, and this is the options, the search options. There you go. You can probably divide this one as another component if you want to be more organized, but for now, this fits on the screen, so it's good enough. So let's do that. Remember, we need to send the query. Let me open this will be the functionality. Each time I search something, for example, Billie Eilish, and I will search it, I will go to the search results page and send that text as a variable. This is the goal right now. So in fact, let's do that. Let's do it right away. Let's reach that particular point. So I will go to the app, and I will add a new route called route component called results, and then the path will be search. Now we can say called no results, because we're not searching, we're showing the results. And then we're gonna say, for example, instead of ID, because we don't know what we are searching for, we'll call this variable query, because it's a query that the user is asking to us. So that's why I use this variable name, to imply that somebody can search for anything. So let's do it. Let me import results from. Let me rename this one to results. Search result is no, search result is okay, actually. It's a long name, but it's quite descriptive. So search results, and this will be called search results. And this is the query, perfect, from /pages search results, perfect. And let me see if the name of the component matches. It matches, perfect. And because we are passing a variable, we need to get the prop. So we say match. And remember that we say, for example, in this case, const query equal match. And remember that this is not the URL directly. We know that it was an object inside an object inside an object. So we say params. And this one is still not my variable. Let me console log, because I don't remember the rest. Console log, search query, comma, query, to see how it's happening. We know that the URL is /results, so let's do that. Let me go to results, and I will say slash, and I will say hello. Hey, how do we do the space? You don't write the spaces in a browser URL, but each time that you write a space inside the inputs, the web browser will convert your empty space, your white space, into a special character that is something like that. It's something like &20. That's the equivalent of a blank space. I don't remember right now, but this will be the equivalent. I will search hello. It knows that it's saying the variables are undefined, but for now, I only care about my console log. Oh, I need to import my search results. Just give me a second. I will comment this line for now. I will comment these lines because we don't have the code yet for these ones. And cards is not defined. I will delete the cards as well. Yeah, I will comment this one. And it says card defined, but it's not used. Let me see why I don't get the console log. Let me just click the terminal. Console log query. Let me see, just console log, hello, results. just to check that we are in the correct page. Huh. I don't see my logs. This is interesting. Search result is carded.
Isn't it? Is it search results? What was your? Are you in the right path?
Let me confirm.
What was your path again? It is results. That's right.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
supposed to. Yeah, no, but nice catch. Just in case. Let me see why I cannot see my console log. Clear filters, waiting for updates from signal.
In path,
yeah.
you have missed this slash.
Sorry,
In path.
in path. Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Yes, that was it. Yep, that was it. Thank you. As you can see, people make mistakes. Humans are, no matter how many years of experience you have, either using Vue or React, these mistakes are annoying as hell. You have no idea. So thank you so much. Yep, we can see the query, and the query says hello, hello. So and the final element is params.query, because this is the name of my variable, the one that we are using. So we say that now my query is this one, and we can say that is hello. Perfect. So this is working. Okay, we now can search something based on this query. Before we continue, because we want to write a lot of complex strings and we don't know how to do the space. Well, I know how to do it, but it's super annoying. Let's first send information from the header bar to this page. We know that this page loads and we know that it's getting the information. So let's send information from the header bar to this page. So let's do it right now. We know that for now, we're gonna keep these comments commented. We're gonna use them later. We're gonna close this one and we're gonna say, start building the search. Perfect. We know that our search bar is inside the component header. Perfect. We have a form here. So we need to do that as soon as you press the search. We don't want to reload the page. We don't want to reload the page. We explained yesterday why we don't want to do that. What we want to do is to send to a specific page that we want using the React router DOM, and then set the query. So let's do that, shall we? We can create, this is the button. Remember that we need to do a pass a function here. So on submit, on the pass a function, I'm gonna say search, on search. Yeah, on search. We're gonna create this method. Methods, function, on search. We know that this automatically passes an event. We know that we need to say the event prevent default, because otherwise it will reload the page and we're gonna lose the states. The states survive when React deletes the components, but the state doesn't survive if the user reloads the page or the form reloads the page. So we need to do the prevent default. Perfect. And now there is a component called another component called use history. I think it's called from React Rotterdam. It's called use history. You can see, and if you see the word use, you probably think it's a hook. Yes, it's a hook it's a custom hook created by React Rotterdam, and we can create. We can say that in a property or const history equal use history. I think it's like this. There you go. So just to have a shortcut, because we are not creating a state like this, like con history set history. We are not creating the hook. We are using a hook from somebody else. So that's why I will say history dot push, and I will say slash. What was the address? Result slash. Let's use string literals. And this is our query, this one, the state query. There you go. Cross fingers, And let's see what is happening. Hey, yes, it's crashing. Let me go back to the home. Perfect. Let me just make the console smaller, way smaller. Let me clean that up. Perfect. Let's search something, for example, Billy. And we're gonna put the space on purpose. Elish. There you go. And I will press enter and we'll go to the search. And you can see that it says Billy, percentage 20. That's the way to HTML to handle the spaces. And you can see in your search query, Billy Eilish is working. So far, so good. So we are working perfectly. Let me just open the chat real quickly to see if there is a question. Plus, I don't know in which context is this plus? Abbas?
Yeah, I understood something wrong. I thought the spaces will be plus instead of percentage and 20.
No, it's because you actually, if you put, for example, Game Boy Plus, this actually is a normal character. The special way to actually handle the space is this is the ampersand 20 blah blah blah. So yeah, don't worry. Well, in any case, good question anyways, good to know. Let's finish this exercise. We're about to, so let's do it. Now that we know that the query is working, we can close the header. The header is done. It was super easy because yesterday you learned about how to do forms. Let's go to the last page, search results. And okay, here we can delete this console log because we know that it's working. We know that this information is getting passed. Here, I just need to create oh, remember that we also need information from here. So import information from data information. You also realize something at this stage. I don't know if you have the keen eye for this. You know that each page is important information. If you want to refactor your project, and I strongly recommend that to refactor. Remember, this project was designed when the SDA 7, the front-end development was 1 week for everything. So we took a lot of shortcuts. We never teach about CSS variables, for example, because it was too much information overload. So in this one, you can probably pass the information here, and then you will need to learn how to pass the information here. Because imagine that you want to pass the information as a prop. There is another way. For example, let's say that I will not refactor the project. This is an example. Let's say that information is here, and you want to clean your project, and you don't want to import the information in each page. You want to pass it here as a prop. There is another way to do the route. You can do the route as if you want to pass props to the component. You can create a route. And you can see that you can open and close the tag. And inside the route, you can say home. And here you can pass the prop. Information equal information. So this way, and of course, you need to do the path. Of course, you cannot escape this one. Path and say slash and then exact. So you can do the route like this or the route like this. I prefer this one. Of course, that's why I teach it. Because this one is 1 line of code instead of having 3 lines of code. And when you have 20 pages, multiply 20 by 3 and 60 lines of code just for this. This one can make everything in 1 single line. But if you need to pass arguments, this is the correct way. Something to consider by. And this is in the documentation, so you can research about this. In any case, I don't want to refactor the project right now because I don't like to refactor in live, because refactoring is a messy process that takes hours. I love it to do it, but it's prone to break stuff up. So right now we're gonna keep we know that there is a defect and we can move the information outside. That will be homework for you if you decide to do this project. Move the information outside the pages and put it in the, and by the way, you can think that the header also can be moved outside. Something to consider by. And if you decide to move the header outside, remember, it needs to go here, the header, because the switch is only the window where I change pages. But because we want to have the header consistent across the pages, you can put it here. This is optional. Don't get stressed if you don't understand this. This is something if you want to go to the next step and refactor the project a little bit to make it better. But it's not necessary. We can just keep this project like as it is right now. And here in the research results, we're gonna do something similar to the one that we did in the video. Remember that in the video we have the entire information JSON array, and we just want to find one based on ID. We want to do something similar here. We want to do we want to filter based on the title on the right now in the title. So for now, let's say const results cause results equal information dot filter. Now, if we're not using find, we're using filter. What is the difference between find and filter? Find gets the first result. Filter will get multiple results that matches. For example, in this particular project, I will just comment this one out because it's probably gonna break the project because it's incomplete. In this one, for example, we have two videos about the Game Boy, and I don't want to find the first. Oh no, we have three. 1, 2, 3. So if I write the word Game Boy, I want that the 3 appear. So that's why we use filter instead of find. So we want all to create a new array based on the as many as we can find. So filter, and again, we're gonna say item, the item in my array, arrow function, and inside my arrow function, we're gonna say the item dot, in this case, I will say the title, sorry. Title is the property that we have in the JSON here in data. We're gonna say, by default, we're gonna search by title. And there is a new property called match. There is a easier way to do a regex. Let's say match, or parentheses. And it says an object that supports being matched against. Match is a string of an object that supports being matched against. Returns an array containing the results of search, blah, blah, blah. This is gibberish. But basically, this will be like a regex, and we're gonna say, hey, instead of trying to remember, a human will never be able to remember, for example, the Game Boy. Nintendo Game Boy Pocket Review or blah, blah, blah. We just want to search Game Boy. So if the search query is part of the video, it doesn't mean to be the exact match, but it's part of the video, it will count as a match. And what do we want to do as a match? We want to do the match, the variable called query. So let's test it out. We are not going to render the cars right now. We're going to do the console log. And we're going to say, hey, we are searching. Dot, 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 dot. And we're going to say console log results in a separate page. And let's test it out. Open the console. Says the cars is fine, but not never used. So for now, we're going to comment this one out. So my console is clean. I really want the console clean. And let's test it out. Game Boy. This one should return 3 results. Cross fingers. Because we are using the form with the input, I can use the enter key. Cross fingers. Hey, yay, it crashed. Well, let me see what is crashing. Console log results. Console is an instance of console. Oh, I forgot to do console log. Let's go back. Clean terminal, and let's try the project again. Game Boy, enter. We're searching and it didn't return anything. So let me see if I made a mistake in my filter. Information filter video title, video title match query. Sorry. Item title, and this item is in the based on information. Yeah, information filter. Let me just copy this line of code. For me, it's the same thing, but I just want to confirm that it's not working. So if I say Game Boy search, hey, oh, maybe it was for the case. Don't tell me that this project doesn't work just because of the case. Just let me go one more time. Oh, shit. Got it. Okay, if you want to improve the code base, a nice trip is you can, we go back here. So by the way, the code was working from the beginning. It's just the title case is matching. if you want to make make this thing work, you can make this one to uppercase. So you can make to uppercase, and you can say this one to uppercase as well. And then you will force both to be uppercase, and because both are uppercase, then you will not have problems with the upper or lowercase. Something that you can do on your own as well. Something that I probably always do. The reason I forget to do it is just because I didn't want to overload the information to the students. Yes, go ahead. Question.
Eduardo,
Mhm.
instead of match, is there like there's something called like if you're doing a query? Is there something like on this search? Yeah,
Like
I'm not too sure. I think it's the SQL query, but I don't know if it works similar. I'm not too sure.
but yeah, but
So you search
yeah.
for query which are.
Yeah, but SQL and JavaScript are totally different languages, so they will not have a one. There is probably a similar property. I don't know that, but it will not be working in this particular case. So for us, the closest.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a valid question. Yeah, and you will learn about SQL next week with Kevin. Don't worry about that. But in any case, the trick that I told you, this is a nice trick. Just convert this to uppercase, and then convert this one also as an uppercase. Yeah, you will not have problems with the case sensitive. Probably, let me just research real quick if I can say GS match, prototype match, and I can say case insensitive. Somebody already, how to make my string comparison to uppercase? Yes, this is the thing I was telling you about. Make it to uppercase, and there you go. It's quick and dirty. I would love to do it right now, but that will make our lesson go for 4 hours. So I prefer to keep it short right now. We know that it's working with this bug, something that you can fix. Let's create the cards, shall we? So we're gonna say properties. These are constants because once they are created, they cannot change, and they don't survive the state. So let's create the cards, shall we? The cards will be rendered cards. Let me create render cards equal. What was I about to say? Results. Remember, we are not using information because if we use information, it will render everything. We don't want to do everything. We just want to get the ones that we got in the results. So results.map arrow function. I really hope that at this particular point in time, you're super comfortable with the arrow functions item. And we're gonna say, now we can say cards. Now we need the card. I want to say card. And the property for the card was information equal item. We need ID, remember, key item.id. ID, ID, there you go. Otherwise, React will not be able to organize your content. So we can now render the cards like we were doing here. Perfect. So if I go back and I write Game Boy, unfortunately, I need to put the uppercase because we don't have the trick. I press search, cross the fingers. Boom, results. Perfect. If I write Nintendo, not only will get the Game Boys, if everything goes well, I will get this one as well because this is also the word Nintendo. Search. Yeah, we got the results. Perfect. Real reason, flight, blah, blah, blah. Alicia Keys and Norway, plane. This has plane and this has plane. Probably because of the case, we will not be able to match both. Let me just put plane here. Search. This only gets this one, but this one gets plane, get this one. Remember, that's why it's super important to do the uppercase thingy. I will leave that as a homework for you. So you can match these two just based on the regardless of the casing. So make both uppercase, fix. So, okay, we're about to finish for today. We just want to add these cute little buttons. Oh, let me just remove the comment from here. I think I confused the machine. So this one goes here and this one goes here. So perfect. So I want that I want to sort my information by title or by channel name. So let's do that. Let's create a. We know that this is working. So we're gonna create a method. This is a components, and we're gonna put the uppercase just so we know that this is a card array. Yes. For learning purposes, let me use this name, cars array. There you go. And we want to create a method, and we put it in the middle because it's based on the guide that I told you about. So we're gonna sort the cards. Function sort cards. I will try to refactor a little bit of this because I don't like to have a function that passes a function. This is super messy, so I will try to refactor it. No, I will just copy paste, and then after that, in the afternoon, I will refactor it and push the new result, just so we can. Oh no, this is super messy. Oh God, this is a bad code. I will fail this student. That is myself, by the way, if I do it right now. So yeah, I will showcase this one, how to do it, this one later, because right now the code that I have on my screen, that I am seeing on the screen, is so messed up that I don't feel proud to showcase this code to you guys. You're doing a work so good right now, based on the question that you asked, that I feel ashamed to showcase this code. So I will push it in the afternoon. I will clean it up a little bit and just make a comment. But it's super easy. It's just all about to basically, you know that instead of modifying this title, we are gonna use the channel. So instead of searching by title, we are searching by channel. We can just probably make a small variable here and search this. Yeah, I will modify the code because right now it's a mess. And then I will I push the results in the afternoon. So don't worry about that. And the most important part is that you don't need this to make the project. So with that out of the way, I will stop for now. I will comment these ones out. I will just remove this on click events. I will leave it empty. If you have questions, this is the time, because I think that we have done enough for today. There you go. I will leave this one as it is. So this is the search incomplete. There you go. I will push it.
So, okay, to continue and finish the exercise that was pending, we are gonna refactor the old project to make it way better. And the thing that we're gonna change is that we're gonna sort these results using these buttons. I will open the element. We want that once we press the button for title or channel, we are gonna organize our search results based on that. So if I, for example, if I press name, this video that I start with the letter N goes before the U or the T, and if I go with the channel, I will this channel will go first because this one starts with A. Then this one goes with A as well. It will change. It will focus on the title then, and then this one with C goes lastly. So let's do that. How do we do it? Well, we need to tell the machine that first of all, we need to sort our results. This line of code only takes care of filtering. So we're gonna rename it, right click, filtered results, because these are our results with a filter that would say only these ones should be appear on the list. And then we're gonna create another constant for the sorted results. What is sorted results? Well, one thing is to filter stuff. Remember, you have an array of 10 items and we only want to showcase the 2 or 3 or X amount of items that match our query. And then we want to sort them. So we're going to create another variable to say const sorted results. And this one will be a new array based on filter results. Remember, we don't use information because if we sort information, instead of having the 3 items sorted, we're gonna get the entire 10 sorted again. No, we only want to order the ones that are already filtered. So we go from this one, filter.sort. And this is an arrow function. And the script, I will copy and paste it, and then I will explain it quite quickly. So this one, filter result, it will, I will paste it here. And what is this? It's simple. We have an arrow function. We pass, this arrow function receives two arguments, A and B, and this is where the sorting algorithm, if you remember the programming in that, starts to make a comparison between each 8 items in the array. And the key that we want to sort is actually something that we can change with a state. Why? Because we need to say which keys are we going to sort. For example, if we want to sort by title, we want to say this one to be title and this one title as well. But if we want to search by channel, I need to say no, don't use title, use channel, and use channel like here as well for the comparison. But we need to do this to react to the button presses. So that means that we need to create an state. So let's do that. Let's do const state. I'm going to say const sort key, because this is a key, the key that we're going to use to sort the stuff, and then set sort key. And this will be use state. This imports me my library from React, and because I organize, I will put it in a npm package. Perfect. And this one, as a default value, will have it will search by the key title in the JSON array. So title. Remember that we have the data information. We can search by title or by channel name. So by default, we want always to sort by title, just like we are doing in the filtering, because in the search bar we search by title. So that's how we want to sort the results by default. And then if we press the button channel, we're gonna say keep the search result as based on title, but the order of how you show me the information on the screen is gonna be based on the channel. So let's create this key. We put it here. We put it here. There, perfect. And we just need to tell the machine how to change this one. Of course, we use the getter. So we're gonna say on click, and because we need to pass an argument, arrow function again. There you go. Set sort key. This one will be by title, and we do the same here. By, and the correct key is called channel name. So I will copy and paste it. And we can delete this method because we are not going to use it anymore. And instead of creating the cars arrays based on the filter, but on sorted results, we are going to use the sorted results. But remember, sorted results are the same filter of results, but with the sorting algorithm that you learn in programming in depth. And the key is decided by the button presses. So let's test it out. Let's go here. And if I press by name, I see the NTU. And if I press channel, my key, my state changes. And because the state changes, remember, React renders the component. And now, instead of sorting by title, like it was for default, it now will sort by channel name. But the filter result will still be based on the search query passed here in the URL. So there you go. That's all the thing that we need to do to complete this exercise.